I actually have something to get off my chest with you, Mitchell. You mister, you cursed us.
Me?
You fucking cursed us. You fucking cursed us.
What have I done now?
Is there gonna, when Tolga messaged last week saying, what's the topics? And you go, EA, Ubisoft. And I had to say in the podcast, well, we got a bit of Ubisoft, but don't worry, EA's safe.
Yeah.
You fucking cursed us. EA's in the fucking news.
Well, you know what? It's not a curse, Andrew. It's called an educated guess saying EA.
It's not even educated. It's just it's just facts. We know that it's gonna fucking happen.
If it's not this week, it'll be next week. If it's not that week, it'll be the week after. I don't care. EA shit.
Fucking fuck them. But before we get into the shitty EA news, we should fight them.
Yes.
Trial by combat.
I picked Tolga.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah. Cool.
They can pick whoever they want, that's fine. But no, let's talk about, before we do news and stuff, first off, welcome. I didn't even do an actual introduction.
What's up,
welcome to the podcast. But let's talk about games.
Literally, like you've been shocked by electricity. Like you've just put a fork in a PowerPoint.
I had a shower.
All right, time to do the podcast.
I had a shower an hour ago, and I just couldn't be bothered.
He's put his hand on a crystal ball, and his hair's gone all frictiony.
I blame quarantine, bro. It's just
Get a haircut.
Fucked. Oh yeah,
I've got some mean sideburns though. Look at these babies.
I was about to say, I think this is the longest I've seen your hair in like a few years, Andrew.
Yeah. Do you remember at one point when I had it like down to there?
Yeah, I remember when you had
the weird curl thing.
The only one that looks slick is Crackle Pop Tolga over there.
Crackle
yeah, well, he's in New South Wales, bro. He has.
Oh yeah, he can go outside. Yeah.
Yeah, he has the ability to go and get those.
Oh, that's
joyous little things.
I don't want to talk about that because it makes me upset, and I can justify it because it's not game news.
Maybe 2 weeks, under 2 weeks, maybe.
We'll see what happens.
Things are going as planned.
We'll see what happens.
If things are going as planned,
let's roll these things going.
Let's do this. So. Games this week. Has anyone been playing new games?
I'm about to.
You're about to, yes, as am I. Baldur's Gate 3. Tolga is going to join us on a walkthrough.
Hell yeah.
Baldur's Gate 3.
I'm going to play the new Destiny 2 Halloween event tonight on stream. So I'm going to do that.
Nice.
That's going to be a bit of a grind. I don't think it's the best event that Bungie has ever put effort into, especially given the circumstances, but I'm just gonna play it. So that's
it is what it is, man. If it's a bit of extra content in a game like Destiny, that's
the thing. People are disappointed because the rewards for it, especially the guns, there's no new guns given out.
I mean, fuck, bro. We've just been in a pandemic. Like, how much can you expect from the?
Well, no, this is the only thing tying over Destiny people until the thing that's already been pushed back.
Look, I understand that, but again, we're in a pandemic that gets pretty, I don't know, man. Like,
I don't know. I think they could have put some sort of resources into this event because it's just like copy paste, bit of a grind. Anyways, what's that?
Can we appreciate Andrew's mustache?
We can.
Why?
I don't know, bro.
Even I don't want to appreciate the mustache.
When you guys talk about Destiny, I just zone out because, you know...
like, I don't know, I just think with how things have been as of recent, I think I understand being pissed because, yes, you're waiting for a new content update.
It's the only thing, and there's nothing new.
I understand that, but again, remember,
there's some cool skins and cool ornaments, but ultimately...
Like I said, though, you know, like...
It's no change.
They're probably trying to focus more on trying to get that DLC out and that expansion out in a decent time.
Well, it's got a month. You got a month, Bungie. You got a fucking month.
Exactly, but that's what I'm saying. They've only got a month, so they're probably trying to put as many people on that.
That's a lot of time. Come on.
Or we will fight you.
Because that's a lot of time. They've already pushed it back.
Hours they're doing.
They've already pushed back the set date 2 months.
Yes, but they've been in a pandemic.
So they've also missed previous updates in past years.
Yes, they have, but
pandemic.
I feel like this is a fair excuse for having a pandemic
I'm just saying,
to slow down time.
I think it's not hard just to add a new weapon, just one, to get from the event.
Listen, Mitchell, have you ever built a digital gun? No.
What?
Boom.
No. Bad argument.
Bad argument. I'm voting you out. You're sus. Tolga's sus, guys.
That was bad.
Tolga just vented in front of me, man. Vote him out.
I just think it's... Yes, I don't like the fact that there isn't as much content, but I think that, again...
people aren't happy. The community's not happy.
You shouldn't... I'm not saying be happy that and stuff and, give them excuses, but there is a fair argument to say, look, there has been a pandemic. And...
Sure.
There is still a pandemic.
Actually,
going
there was
on.
an interesting theory I heard this week about why it was pushed back specifically to November 10th. And it was I heard it from Rick Carcass. So shout out to him. Check him out. Awesome content. He said that Bungie were secretly collaborating with Xbox because the Xbox release date happens to be November 10th as well. And he was like, it's too much of a coincidence that Bungie would push back their date specifically to November 10th, 2 months, when Xbox also comes out on November 10th. So they're trying to make a marketing deal of, hey, this is going to come out as a release. We're going to make this a
release
Game Pass
as well. It's also coming out with Game Pass, yeah.
So
I mean, look, that's fair, but it's
only rumor.
Proof. There's no proof. That's literally him just.
It makes sense in my head the way he explained it.
I'm sure it makes sense, but I'm
not going to explain it with every piece of evidence or thoughts that he has because it's his theory. So go to his channel, Rick Carcass HD on YouTube, and check out the video.
But again, it is unless he has proof, you can only say it is.
Oh, it's total speculation. Total speculation.
But I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised.
No, that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't be surprised either.
But anyway. What else? What else have you been playing? Tolga, you finished...
I finished Raji, An Unexpected Adventure. It's a little indie game made by Notting Head Games. I think this is the second or third time we spoke about it. And I finished it. Obviously, it's their first ever game, like this company's Notting Head's game, full stop. And it's a little indie game, and obviously it being their first game. It's not gonna be perfect, and it's not. It was very basic. Combat was quite interesting. They give you different elemental type damages, different weapons that sort of do different things. Again, wasn't perfect, but you can tell, and we were just talking about this earlier, Andrew, that they've obviously done it in such a way where the money earned from this game is going to go into a sequel because they've ended the game in a very, this is only the beginning.
Way.
They've set it up.
Thing. Yeah, they've set it up, and I'm super keen, man. I'm super keen.
So what exactly is this game? Could you explain it?
So
could you explain the gameplay? Because I have no clue what this game is like.
I've never heard of it.
From what you've mentioned it.
It's similar to. So what's it called? Is it roguelike RPG?
Roguelikes, yep.
Yeah. It's kind of like that. Obviously,
so you die and you keep all your... you die and you slowly progress through randomized areas, or...?
No, it's not randomized.
Okay.
It's set.
But is death a big key element within the gameplay as well?
I mean, no, not really. It doesn't really punish you. There's nothing you can really lose anyway.
Right.
There's no...
Is it a free indie game, or...?
No, so it cost me about... It was $30 maybe.
30 Australian bucks.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. It's only on the Switch. Probably not roguelike.
I was going to say, that doesn't sound very much like a roguelike. But anyway, is it... The gameplay, is it, similar to something like Diablo, or is it, similar to even a Torchlight, or even the roguelike though, Hades?
Yeah, it's similar to the roguelike Hades, except you go through the designated level,
Yeah, it's just a linear leveled game, just with the combat mechanics of a Hades, where it's very action based. You've got a dodge mechanic, you've got your weapon damage, you've got abilities,
and it's actually surprising how in depth it is, because like you can do, for example, if you run up a wall and do different types of attacks, you get different things happening.
Right,
and that's for every different weapon. If you do a swing around a pole, you do different things depending on what weapon you've got, what attack you do. You know, you can do, you know, for example, dodge attack, dodge attack, dodge attack. Like, you know,
it's nice combinations.
Yeah, it's got nice combinations.
So is it one of those games where you could get through it not doing any of the combinations, but the combinations add a level of skill?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
And it's not a long game. You can like.
Yeah, I was about to say, how many hours did you get out
of
this
game? If you probably, I got a little bit more, because I take my time with games normally. Like, for example, there's hidden like ability points you can get if you go through this path or that path.
Yeah.
But if you just like bum rush the game, you can do it in like 3.5 hours, 4 hours.
For $30.
Yeah, it's a Switch game, man.
Yeah, and that's expensive for 3-4 hours of actual content. Like, non-repeatable content.
For some people, time is relative. If you can get replayability out of it, do you reckon there's a replayability aspect from it?
Yeah, you could replay it. Like, for example, you can bum rush it and just go get past with the bare minimum ability points you get, or you can take your time, explore the world, and find the secret paths and things like that, and get more ability attribute points, and then get more stronger.
Look, I think.
Look, it's not a 10 out of 10 game.
No, doesn't sound it.
It's not a 10 out of 10 game, but I think for their first try.
Doesn't sound like a bad game. I wouldn't say it's worth $30 though. From just hearing.
I mean, again, Mitchell, it's kind of that's subjective.
It is subjective, but that's
because you know, people loved Resident Evil 3 remake, and some people thought that it was too short because it was 8 hours long. But some people thought it was well worth the time, and that was $60. That was $100. You know, like
I think price wise, what has to do it is probably because it's a Switch exclusive.
Right.
I think. Look, if you think that it's obviously subjective, but if you personally think that it was worth the $30, Tolga, that's all that matters.
I think it's worth it because you're supporting an indie company, and it's their first game ever.
But I mean, I understand that, but was it still an enjoyable game instead of just it being supporting? No. Was it worthwhile as a game?
100%. I had fun. Okay. I enjoyed it, and I really. So the whole point of Notting Head is that they want to essentially in games explore like Hinduism, so like the Hindu pantheon and stuff like that. Yeah. So obviously, you know, we've all seen the Norse and the Greek, and it's effectively.
I think you were explaining this on another podcast.
He did. I was.
No, that's cool.
And it's refreshing. It's a nice little cool concept, you know. They get you to interact with multiple gods, and you know, you fight giant snakes and things like that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, sounds neat.
That's look. So long as you enjoyed it, so long as you found it really enjoyable, that's the main thing, you know. Yeah. I mean,
so I've been playing that, and
nice. I've been playing Rogue Star Wars Squadrons. That's my game.
And you've been enjoying
the week. I've been really enjoying it, actually. It's fucking amazing. It's really fun. I obviously have some criticisms, like the story, fucking shit, waste of time, was not done well, was really boring, really bland, trash.
But does it teach you aspects of the game that are important for multiplayer?
It teaches you some aspects, but the story was so boring. I literally ended up just learning it in the multiplayer because I got so fucking bored.
Okay.
It was just really, really boring. Not interesting.
Sounds like the new trilogy.
At
least there was not as many inconsistencies. I'll give it that.
Cool.
It was just really boring. But the gameplay itself, especially in the multiplayer, is amazing, man. Like, as for someone who hates flight sims, like I fucking hate them. I hate whenever I play a game, like when I play Battlefield or if I play Battlefront, I hate playing in the pilot, like as a pilot and shit. Fucking hate it. Can't stand it. I suck at it. This game really nails it down well, and it makes it friendly for people who aren't.
You would hope so when the whole kind of
but
it
also makes it friendly to people who aren't into.
Yeah, no, I'm glad they've done it well, because if they didn't do it well, the game wouldn't be successful.
No, but I'm more focused on the fact that they nailed it down, but they also made it friendly to people who don't like these games or aren't used to it.
They made it accessible.
Like I am able to play this game and do decent at this game and play decently well, and I cannot say that for any other game that's had fighter pilot mechanics.
Free with the season pass or whatever the Microsoft thing?
The Game Pass? Not yet, no. So the Game Pass thing happens at the end of this year where they get the EA Play. But that is specifically for the Xbox Ultimate Game Pass. That hasn't come out yet, no. But once it does, it will be available with Game Pass.
No worries.
Which I think once it does come available, seriously, give it a crack. It's really, really fun. My only issue is, and I played a little bit more, and I still find it a little wishy-washy. Sometimes I find that the Rebel Alliance is severely overpowered compared to the Empire.
Yeah, you mentioned this to me, and I haven't played, so I don't know. But
is it out in completely out, or is it beta or something?
Completely out.
No, it's fully out.
Completely out. Okay.
Like I will also preface, there's not much. There's a bit lacking in terms of maps and stuff as well. I will let people know that. I personally don't mind too much.
Space.
Well, the main reason is even more so than FPS games where maps are important. A lot of maps are important. I feel like the lack of maps really helps you kind of gain a bit more knowledge on the maps that are present, which is so necessary. It's necessary in any FPS and competitive game, but I feel like even more so in this one.
Yeah.
Just because, it's all about, if you get locked on by someone, it's all about trying to evade them. And you've got to try and get a fucking way from them and get around them. So knowing the map and how you can maneuver yourself to fix that that's how, knowing the map is going to help. So the lack of maps, I'm not too fussed about. No microtransactions for now. That's good.
Always a nice thing.
But anyway, back to the Rebel Alliance being slightly overpowered. So as you guys should know as Star Wars fans, the Rebels canonically
I fucking love Frodo.
Well, no, but the Rebels canonically have shields on their ships, whereas the Empire doesn't. Right? Sure. And the reason why canonically...
you good there, buddy?
Anyway, the reason why...
Just the fact that you hear it in the background. Just fucking love Frodo.
You gotta make it subtle,
The reason why Empires don't have the shields is because they had numbers, so they didn't focus on putting defensive capabilities on their TIE fighters.
I mean, look at the Death Star. They didn't really put much into defense. We know that.
But they focused more on numbers, right? So that's why they knew if they put 5 on one Rebel ship, even though it has shields, one of the TIE fighters is bound to hit the Rebel ship and take it down.
Yeah.
And so that's fine, and that's all well and good, except when it's a 5v5 game. And so you have one team with extra defense.
Yeah, and unless you have
and one team without.
Unless you're a team that's coordinating, you're at a big disadvantage.
And in dogfights, you're fucking not. In like a normal just TDM style game mode, you're not fucking coordinating.
Nah.
And so I've found that I feel like I do a lot worse when I'm playing as the Empire, and I feel like I don't get hits in, or if I go one-on-one, head-to-head with someone, I always lose as the Empire, whereas I've gone head-to-head with a lot of people as Rebel, and 9 times out of 10, I win.
I don't know. Tolga, what do you reckon? Do you think you should just get good, or, what do you think? It's a really tough subject, this one.
All right.
Anyway. No, Andrew, please. We're discussing.
If the science is correct,
I
believe you should just ram a spaceship every time you see it.
There
you go. You've heard it here first, Andrew.
I should jump from hyperspace into the ship and cut it in half.
Best cinematic shot I've ever seen.
Genius.
Can't change my mind.
Pure genius. Exactly. But no, like that's my only gripe with the game is I sometimes feel like there's a bit of imbalance. Don't get me wrong, there's also ways to upgrade and fix your shit.
I feel like we shouldn't be talking this game up too much because I feel like you're about to shit on its creators. I
am. So we'll get into that though.
I have no idea what this news is, so I'm excited.
Anyway,
while being
let us go into the news segment.
Warriors.
So EA are, like I said, our favorite people. And producers of this game. It's got this story has nothing to do with squadrons, though, I will say. So, at the moment, the UK government has asked for people to compile evidence for and against loot boxes.
Right. So the UK even have an active government right now?
We're not getting into that.
I haven't heard.
But that's what they're doing. That's what they did. They asked for people to compile evidence for them.
Yeah.
Either supporting or against the
loot box boxes.
Now,
they get their top minds on it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm unaware, Tolga. Okay, I'm unaware, but they're asking for the public to actually send evidence as to why it's bad or good.
Trusting the public.
Power to the people.
Just the best thing is the irony here is at the same time, someone happened to find a children's magazine in the UK where EA has an ad for FIFA. That's not bad. Having an ad for FIFA, except it's instead of it being like, "Hey, buy our game," it's, "Hey, kid, we're going to give you a step-by-step rundown as to how to buy our Ultimate Team packs."
Who signs off on these advertisement deals?
Well, so after backlash, as you'd expect, EA's taken it, pulled the ad, and they've made a statement saying...
Hold on, where'd you say it was?
In a children's book.
You know those like children magazines that you could get?
Like K-Zone and stuff.
When you're like a teenager and it's like Taylor Lautner's ripped abs. Look at them.
Well, no, it's more the video game ones.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
No, I've seen.
It's a toys magazine.
I only read the female ones.
It was actually for little kids. It was the toy magazines.
Yeah.
I only bought
comes
the
with like
Taylor
a
Lautner
Hot
ones.
Wheels or some shit like that.
Of course you did, Mitchell.
Yeah.
But and on there they had a literal step-by-step rundown as to how to buy their gambling mechanics.
That's so bad.
I fucking love it. And they took it away. They pulled it out and they went. The ad appeared in environments it shouldn't have. We understand. I just love the timing, though. I love the timing that the UK government's gone, okay, we need proof, we need some evidence for and against loot boxes. And that same week, EA's gets caught fucking the cake.
Oh, then.
Not just eating his piece of cake, he's fucking it.
Regardless of that, why is it in a children's gaming magazine?
No, it's fucking disgusting.
But why have you got ads out about how to purchase this? Why do you need ads going?
So
this is how you get the microtransactions.
They're greedy. They're just so fucking greedy, dude. There
just shouldn't be ads for that. There should be ads. Hey,
of
here's
course
the game, and then they'll
they
go in the
just
game.
Exist. They just shouldn't exist in general. But
like to take it one step further and put it in advertising, being like, here's a step to get my microtransactions.
Because they don't give a fuck. They
just tell them to just be like, hey, here's the game. You want to play soccer? I mean, football. Sorry, Europeans. If you want to play football, just fucking here's the game. Don't tell them how to get the microtransactions.
No, they want to try and maximize their profits, Mitchell. I don't think you understand.
Oh, I do, and
you're not savvy enough, Mitchell.
I am savvy.
This is
EA is clearly savvier.
I am savvy because there's no controversies about me right now that we're talking about.
Well, just you wait till the final bit of news, Mitchell.
Oh, now I'm looking forward to it. Here we go. Did you find my Taylor Lautner magazine collection?
Mitchell cancelled.
Yeah.
For weird obsession over Taylor Lautner. So yeah, that's the fun EA shit. I just found it hilarious because it's like, just how shitty of a company and how shitty can you be to just be so blatantly greedy and malicious. It really
makes me upset that they own Star Wars,
the licensing,
the rights and licensing. Because I know you wanted to talk about like games that we loved. Star Wars Battlefront 2 was
we will bring that up.
Big thing, and the fact that they have just fucking shit all over it makes me mad. And
we will get into those things.
Like
I do sound like Grog. Thank you. I've been practicing. Yeah.
Have you been actually?
No, but I was just watching Critical Role before the podcast. So
yeah, buddy. Shout us out, Crit Role.
There you go.
I love you guys. Adopt me.
Yeah.
Please.
Actually, I was thinking like if I ever made a barbarian thing, I'd name him Twig. Like a Goliath build.
Twig.
Call him Twig.
That's the name of my starter in Pokemon. Is Twig.
It's the name of my penis.
Accurate.
Why do you know?
Oh, dude, I know a lot of things about Mitchell that even he doesn't know that I know.
Mm-hmm.
The world is a dark place.
Probably. Anyway, let's go into the next one. Now, this is just outrage news. I personally am of two minds of this one.
This will be good.
Like, I don't know. I don't care. I don't think it deserves the amount of outrage that it's sparked. I don't think that the backlash that it has caused is worthwhile, but I think it is a shit one.
Hit me.
Spiderman remaster. So we got two things.
Did you change your mind because I
still agree. I still agree with what I said, but I don't. I also told you I don't think the outrage is worthwhile. I said that to you over the phone. Anyway, Spider-Man remaster. First off, you can only get it if you buy the Ultimate Edition of Miles Morales, which is a bit odd. But on top of that,
as in like PS4 Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's being remastered for the PS5. You can only get the PS5 edition if you buy the Ultimate Edition of Miles Morales. But on top of that, they have done a bit of a character redesign on Peter Parker. And by character redesign, I mean they've changed his face completely.
He's now a half-elf.
They changed the motion capture actor, and the weirder part for me is he looks weirdly like a taller version of Tom Holland. It's just really off-putting.
I mean, look, in terms of the character model of Peter Parker in that game, I will be honest, his eyes funked me out.
I agree with that. The eyes were fucking odd.
I was like, you have weird buggy eyes, my dude.
But what I did like about the old one now, the old model was he looked like an adult. Like it was kind of refreshing to see an actual adult looking Peter Parker. And this one now he looks like a 17-year-old again.
Oh god, it's wildly different, hey.
Yeah, it's dramatic. It's like they've done this weird combination of the old model and Tom Holland. It's odd, right?
Hold on, I'm trying to mute the video just so you guys don't hear it through the thing.
That's fine. But yeah, that's like my only problem with it is I don't agree with how aggressive people are over it. I don't think that any of the recourse that's happening where people are getting death threats again and all that, and it's like, dude, it's not. You can be upset. You can say, "Yo, that's stupid," but
just the circulation of hate in the industry.
Like, I don't understand it because it's like. You guys you're not gonna win them over by going, I'm gonna fucking kill you if you don't change it. No, that's not what you fucking do.
And what I said to Andrew when he first mentioned this to me, I said, meh. I said, so what? I said, yeah, sure, it's a dog move. Sure, the guy who originally did the acting for it is going to be a little upset. But you know what? That's the business sometimes. You know? And it doesn't take away from the base game, I don't think. And I think if you enjoy the franchise and you enjoy the first game, it should not stop you from getting the game again.
Oh, Lord.
I do agree with you, Mitchell. Like, I do agree that it is, like, for the amount of outrage, it is such a fucking non-issue that they've made it. I
mean, it's their game that they want to make and their art. And if they made this and they went, actually, it's not bad, but I don't think this is what we actually want. I think it would be better if we did this. And let's do this since we have an opportunity with this next gen to revamp it. So that's what they've done. Whether it's a success or not, I don't know.
I just think it's very much in line of...
You will always make either right decisions or bad decisions, all right? But you got to try some things sometimes.
Is it just me?
You got to back yourself in.
Or like from here down, is it a bit funky?
I told you, it doesn't look that great. I don't think it's very much of it's not a good situation.
Now his eyes aren't the problem. It's like his lower jaw is moving.
Like less. I said, he also looks weirdly like Tom Holland, which is just I feel like that was part of the other reason.
Has this actually this remodel has the game been released with this remodel, or is it still in the works?
No, they released a trailer for the remastered version, and they showed off the remodeled version.
Well, okay. Yep, I'm going to wait and see what happens when the game comes out, because we all know about past Spider-Man trailers and graphic things and people saying this, people saying that.
Well,
I'm going to sit on it.
I mean...
About what the model looks like. If you're saying it looks janky from here down or whatever, maybe that'll change.
Sure.
That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely. But again, it comes back to that Halo problem of... But they're trying to sell it now.
There's no problem with Halo. Halo's perfect. How dare you say that about such a lovely franchise?
You know what I mean, though? It's that same thing of they're trying to sell it right now, and if it's looking janky right now, they shouldn't be trying to.
Bad advertisement. Sure.
And I just think it's a bit of a
weird move.
I personally don't like it. But like I'm not going to fucking go and send death threats to people, because that's just a fucking idiotic thing to do that.
I think it's a weird move to make, definitely, and I don't know their reasons for doing it, but it's one they've made, and like you said, not worth any trouble.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, my brother came in. I just muted my mic for a sec. I mean, like, it's not a problem to, I think, potentially like remodel him.
Yeah.
Like, sure.
You're crackling, by the way, just so you know.
Crackling a lot.
It's probably because I'm muted and unmuted.
It's like when you put
now?
That candy in your mouth that just pops into the...
Is it better now?
No.
Or is it still bad? I'll probably just restart and then start again.
Yeah, okay, no worries. But what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, like, I don't think there's a problem.
You're fine now, there's no crackle.
There's no crackle, you're good.
I was going to say there's not a problem with necessarily doing a remodel. What?
Sorry,
as soon as we said there's no crackle, you're fine, bro. And you're like, oh yeah, great, while crackling. It was... you can't write this shit.
Okay. Yeah,
anyway, keep going.
Is it better? Like, I kind of want to fix this.
Well, dude, you sound just amazing.
Sound normal now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good. Okay, keep going. Keep the ball rolling.
Run with the momentum, my boy.
We're going.
Okay. Look, I'm fine. I just want to make sure it sounds fine. Anyway, don't think there's an issue with the remodel. It's gotten worse, hasn't it?
No, it hasn't. It hasn't. It's good.
But I just think it still looks a bit funky. Like, why is his model the one that's looking funky? First it's bug eyes, now lower jaw doesn't move. Like, what? Why?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just...
And do we think... What's the consensus on? Do you think it's Sony, or do you think Insomniac made the decision?
I think Insomniac made the decision.
Yeah,
I don't
same.
think Sony would try and push Tom Holland. I think it's a coincidence that it looks like Tom Holland. I don't think Sony would try and push
I don't think Sony would care as much, especially since it's already a pre-made
If
product.
anything, they try to avoid it looking too much like the Marvel one because they still want to try and keep it as their own product and their own IP. So,
that's just our opinions, but I reckon it was Insomniac as well.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I definitely. So they did say that it was due to they thought that they could improve the looks of the character model, etc., etc. They did come out and say that. And I think that they genuinely thought that. I personally don't like it, like I said, but the real news story to me is how stupid the fans were. Yeah, that's the reason why it's up here. I wouldn't have put it up here if these motherfuckers weren't out here.
The public is so toxic. They're ruthless.
Yeah,
like, it's dumb. It's
any small thing. It only has to be minor these days, and it just blows up for people. And I think I really struggle to understand how people can live this way and be happy.
Can you give us a bit of context, Andrew, on the threats? Like, for example, was it like I love the old model.
We don't have full blatant read out threats. One of the developers, one of the head developers, came out and tweeted saying, "Look, I get that you guys are passionate, but that does not mean to threaten me or my family."
Right, but what are they? Okay, do we know at least why it's a issue for them? Like, why?
It's because they don't like the fact that they've changed the model completely. They don't like the fact that they've changed the model. Yeah. That's where the controversy started. Is the fact that because people said, "What the fuck?" Originally, man. When the trailer first came out, people went, "What the fuck? Yeah. What are you fucking doing? Like, this is shit." Now you've made him look even younger. Blah
people
blah blah.
People think their opinions are worth gold, man. You know. I mean, even here, I feel like we talk and say our opinions, and like we just go, you can take it with a grain of salt. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah,
we're not going to people going like, we're gonna fucking kill you and your family.
I will never understand someone to be so passionate over something. To be so passionate over fiction.
There needs to be a massive attitude overhaul in the community because it is just so shit, and it won't happen.
It's so toxic, man.
It will never happen. But
yeah, I agree. It's really disgusting, and it makes me go, yeah, fuck. It's like reason why I fucking hate.
Is this what you want to think of games?
Fandoms just suck.
The companies are not great. Most of them not great. Sure. But if you're doing this shit, you're just as bad. So who are you to judge them when you're doing this?
Yeah,
I mean, you're on their level.
Insomniac isn't one of the bad
No. But what I'm saying is, like, if you're judging things like Ubisoft or EA for all this controversy or whatever, how?
You're just as bad.
Yeah. You're just a bit of a problem. Like,
you are part of the problem.
Sending death threats is not. It doesn't fix your problem. It doesn't fix your problem. That's the simple fact. You sending a death threat isn't going to make them go, well, I guess I better fucking change.
I bet you they're the ones making fun of the Karens. But at least the Karens are only asking for a manager. You're going a step further and asking for death.
Oh, I mean, look, man, some Karens are, like, pretty bad, like...
This is not part of the conversation. Karen is such a divergent stuff. But they are the Karens of gaming. They are straight up.
I say they're worse.
But see, they won't even like being put on the level as Karens, so they are now Karens officially.
No,
they are the Karens of gaming.
They're worse.
But it's disgusting, man. It's just fucking despicable.
They're the equivalent of Karen's hairpiece.
Yeah,
that's what they are. There you go.
But no, anyway, let's move on.
Mitchell.
I'm full of it, mate.
They're the equivalent of Karen's hairpiece.
Yep.
Good one. You got him good.
Put that on a fucking pillow.
But anyway, so next little bit of news. Cyberpunk. We mentioned it last week, Mitchell. Cyberpunk's crunch. Yeah. I mentioned it because I saw it happen. It came out at live while we were on air.
Unbelievable stuff.
But no, I said I'd actually talk about it a bit more once I get a bit more knowledge on it, and so
sure.
I've been looking into it. So yeah, last year, CD Projekt came out and said, for this game, we want to be progressive. After they got backlash for Witcher 3 for having a massive crunch period, they came out and said, we want to fix this. We've been a company that has worked solely with crunch in mind, and we want to fix this, and we're going to fix this with Cyberpunk. We're going to prove it with Cyberpunk. And last week, developers got an email mentioning that mandatory crunch was beginning and that they will be working an extra day each week, so doing 6-day weeks instead. Right. Now,
how long until the game release, by the way?
We've got a month and a bit.
Okay.
So, I'm going to put this into perspective.
Yeah.
Because I've got weird, wishy-washy opinions on this one too.
Yeah. Yeah, same.
Mine is not on either side, realistically, because there's kind of a bit more for this one, I think. The main thing is the extra day will add up to an extra week of work. Okay? So the argument can be had of why not push it back a week then. The argument could be had with that, saying if it's just going to add a week of crunch,
that's a valid argument.
If it's going to add a week of crunch, why not push it back a week? You're not pushing it back a month or 2 months. You're pushing it back a week.
But if we do that, right, if we're talking about the stuff that people have just sent death threats about, you don't think people are going to... Yeah, people are going to bring out their pitchforks and throw another rant because they're like, it's being delayed again. Are you shitting me? Like,
for a week, I don't think.
Yeah, but we're reasonable. We're reasonable.
But Cyberpunk as well, Mitchell, has been delayed dramatically before, more than once, and they haven't received death threats.
I'm saying that delaying it a week is a good way to handle it if it does fix the problem. I don't think the public or all of the public will agree. And it only takes a small percentage of people to make it sound like there's a lot of people angry about this.
But then are you saying then, okay, well, fuck it, then make the people work longer hours then? Fuck it, make them go into crunch. Is that your, that doesn't...
Well,
either way, there is a problem.
People would have known this is the industry. And they're getting compensated
for their time. Yes, but people have now been
well.
told that they weren't going to be forced to do it. People have been told that they weren't going to issue it. If they'd have never mentioned that they weren't going to do it, I'm sorry, but they outwardly spoke out, not just to their staff, but to PR firms. They went out and spoke to new journalists and said, we will not be going into mandatory crunch.
Has there been anyone in their staff that's complained about this or said anything that they didn't want to do it?
So here's no CD Projekt Red developer has come out openly. But the thing is, you can't push that as then saying everyone's content. Because you talk out too much about a company, you can lose your job. There's a simple fear tactic about that. There's a reason why most people who talk out about their companies go anonymous. And even then, a lot of the time, sometimes when people do go anonymous, they still get caught out because of how development companies work.
But they are being compensated for this extra day of work, right?
So this is where this is where I go on to the other side. Now, unlike American companies, CD Projekt Red in Europe does get overtime. Right. In the US, they would not be compensated as much. The overtime would not be as good and not be as worthwhile.
Why?
That's just how the US economy works. The US economy fucking sucks.
Yeah, on many fronts.
The way they pay their people sucks. In Europe, yes, they will be compensated. Absolutely. And that's good. Now, the reason why I'm not as mad at what's happening with this one specifically is one of the leads of the company has actually come out and he actually issued a statement saying, I will take the blame. Get angry at me because it is my fault.
Yeah.
I made mistakes that have caused us to have to decide on what to do with this game and whether or not mandatory crunch is what needs to happen. And we've come to the conclusion that it is going to be what needs to happen for this game to come out. So do not attack, get angry at anyone else but me, because it is my failings as leadership.
He's taken responsibility.
He's taken full responsibility, and he said, I thought that blanket statement, and I think that what he said is very good. You will never get that sense of transparency from anyone else who was caught out for doing mandatory crunch. You would never get that. And you can also argue this is a PR stunt. He's doing it to gain PR and recognition. But I also think that their dumbest mistake, in my opinion, was actually saying we're going to fix it with Cyberpunk. I think the smarter option would have been, as a company who is so used to using crunch to get their games out, you can't just then go kick it out and go, yep, now we've got it.
It was bold. It was a bold statement.
But it's going to take time. Let's just say it's not going to work the first time. I as shit as it is, it's not going to work the first time. Yeah. They're going to make failings as a company because they haven't prepared to make a game without crunch before. And this game was already in development whilst this promise was made. This game had been 4 or 5 years into development during this promise. So I think then trying to change how you were planning your development within a year is going to be a lot harder than people think.
100%.
And changing how you schedule things is going to make it a lot harder. Now, I also think that what people who are calling out the fact that they promised this are, again, forgetting to mention is they made this promise before a pandemic happened. They made this promise before the world shut down.
Actually, I forgot about that just then.
Yeah. And I think that is a fair fucking thing to bring up, that they did make a promise before they knew the world was going to shut down for months. And months.
So for all we know, they could have come through with that promise.
They could well have. Yeah. But again, we're not going through what ifs and buts. This simple fact is they failed. But what, in my opinion, will really test them is if the next game is a crunch-ridden mess. Because, like I said, I don't think that any company, even if their intention was to not have to issue mandatory crunch, will be able to do it again on their first attempt, but also on a game that, like I said, was being made during when they thought crunch was okay.
Yeah.
And they prepared with crunch in mind, and I think the other reason why this is necessary is if they delay it again, they are fucking content creators. They will find something else that they need to fix or add, which will then put more time and eventually put more crunch in. Especially CD Projekt Red. That's what happened with Cyberpunk. They were like, oh yeah, the game, they said a year ago, yeah, the game's done, but there's more we want to put in.
Yeah.
There's
definitely a lot of love being put into this.
Yeah, so I think that it's such a hard one to talk about because
it depends.
I don't agree with crunch.
I
hate crunch. I think crunch is disgusting. I think it's shit.
Yeah.
However, I think that with this one, it is.
But it's not the only industry that has that sort of kind of.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Crunch. It's not the only industry, but it doesn't make it okay.
No.
Just because it's not the only industry, it doesn't make it okay.
Sure.
The problem with this industry is it's not a very well-paying job. So then to add in crunch on top of it does not make it much better. And considering how we've seen how toxic the environments within these studios are, can you really give them the benefit, say, oh, well, it happens everywhere else as well, and I'm not saying that nowhere else has toxic work environments either. Everywhere has fucking toxic work environments. Yeah. But I mean, so many people give game companies the benefit of the doubt and don't advocate for crunch at all, or advocate for crunch and go, oh, suck it up.
Is it unethical, though?
I personally think yes.
Why?
Okay, tell me what's ethical about doing 100-hour work weeks.
No, I asked you why you thought it was unethical.
Yeah, so it is unethical to make someone do 100-hour work weeks.
Yeah.
That's fucking unethical. I'm sorry. If you argue against that, I'm sorry, Mitchell, but you can go fuck yourself.
I'm asking. I'm getting perspective, Andrew.
But like, you know, the 100-hour work weeks, 50, 60-hour work weeks is not okay. Like it is. There has been scientific evidence proving that working that many hours in a week is not productive. It is not good for a human being, and it is not actually productive for their work. There is evidence backing that. So no, I don't think it's ethical.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that that's what CD Projekt Red is doing. I'm not saying they're doing 100-hour work weeks. We don't know the extent of the hours that they're doing within those 6 days.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why I'm not calling them out completely. But, you know, you have stories like when Red Dead Redemption 2 was being developed, that where the literal CEO fucking boasted about doing 80-hour work weeks. That the company did 80-hour work weeks.
Right.
He was proud that they did that. They did 90-hour work. Some of them did 100. That's not ethical. That's not okay. And the thing is, in a company perspective, people will say, well, then don't work there. It's not that easy to just quit a job. And it's even harder though when you're doing something, because a lot of developers do it because they're passionate about video games. So that is then held over them. You go, oh, you like video games, you want to be passionate, you want to make these games, you've got to do this. They hold that love for something over you. And then on top of that, they'll say, oh, well, it's not mandatory. We give them the option. When your boss says, oh, do you want to, like, this is your livelihood. We need you to do an extra 30 hours this week. You don't have to, but we do need you to. But you don't have to. It's just, it could ruin the game. Of course, cunts aren't going to say no.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah. I just think that's just crunch in general. Like I said, I'm not necessarily shitting on CD just yet. To me, what really matters is how they do their next game. Their next game, they come out with more crunch, then it's a big fuck you. It's like, okay, you get a slap on the wrist this time, but next time, no, go fuck yourselves.
Yeah. It's such a...
Your arguments are all there.
It's just...
At the end, yeah, like...
I just think that it's really silly to try and argue. Like, a lot of companies go, oh, well, they could just leave. I just hate that argument.
I think it would make it better if, for example, there weren't so many issues with payment. You know what I mean? Like, if it was like, for example, okay, you get paid your overtime, or like, you know, the issues we've talked about a couple other times, you get paid your actual wage, or, you know, things like that. If it was a lot more like, all right, yeah, sure, you're doing overtime,
but the bonus is substantial.
Yeah, and CD they did mention some pretty substantial bonuses. That's, again, they get the overtime. He also said, I will let you know, I'll be completely transparent, they will be well compensated for their overtime. They will be getting royalties from Cyberpunk.
Oh, that's good.
I think there's going to be like, they're going to take 10%, I think, and split it up to the developers. And
that's a lot.
I think it was 10%. Don't quote me on that, but it was 10%. Pretty decent.
A lot.
Yeah. Well,
split amongst
their
how
projection.
Many people?
Yeah, but their projection for this year alone is $500 million.
Yeah.
That's their projection. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fucking money.
And like, that doesn't stop. Like, that'll keep going up with time. So
sure. So I think that yes, there will be compensation. But I mean, the thing is, the other problem is some people might not be still willing to. They'll be like, oh, that's great, you can pay me extra money, but I don't feel comfortable doing these 60 hours. I don't think mentally I could do it.
Yeah, sure.
And then they're forced to. Even though they're getting compensated, it can still do irreparable harm to your mental health.
Oh, 100%.
You know? And that's my only
they're working, like, as you said, 100-hour weeks. That's nuts.
Like I said, that's not what's confirmed with CD
I don't know
Projekt.
how long they're working per week.
That is
what their hours are, but
and that's not every crunch is not 100 hours, but like I said, even 50 hours has been proven to not be effective on a human being. It is proven to not be productive. It is proven to be damaging.
Yeah.
So even at 50 hours, it's not okay. You know, even if that is half of what they normally do, it still doesn't make it okay. You know, but yeah, I just think I think it's worthwhile talking about it. I wanted to bring it up because we mentioned it last week.
It's a difficult subject. I think there's a lot of things you got to think about when you look at it.
That's 50 mil. Like that, if it's 10%, that's 50 mil. That's split amongst how many people?
I think there's it might be under 1,000 people. I could be wrong. Double check, Tom, because they did have a massive expansion.
Yeah. But do we have any other pieces of news? Moving on from that?
Yes, we do. We do have more pieces of news. So, in good Cyberpunk news, it went gold. Cyberpunk is officially gone gold, which means it's done. They're now up to the bug testing phase and shit. The game's creation side is done.
Sweet.
It's gold, which is awesome. Good on them. They deserve a bit of celebration.
Depends on how many bugs there are.
There'll be a lot. Considering the size of that game, there's going to be a lot.
There's going to be a lot of bugs.
Oh.
Yeah. But the rest, most of this is good news or funny news, I promise.
Oh, good.
I'll finish off with, I'll quickly touch on one, which isn't necessarily good news. Remember how I mentioned last time, PUBG Mobile, how much it earned over its last couple of years? So, COD Mobile's been out for a year.
Yeah, COD Mobile. It was quite popular as well.
Yeah, have a guess how much it's earned over its year.
Oh.
$1.50.
$7.50. I'll up you.
Let's do an actual amount.
The mobile app is quite popular. Dude, why you gotta one up me? Alright, I'll one up you then. $1 billion.
What did you say, Tolga?
He said $8.50.
What is your actual
$8 billion
for only a year, dude? Okay, you're both ahead, but it's 500 million.
I was close
from microtransactions alone.
Actually, I think you'll realize that my 850 was closer. Sometimes.
Shut the fuck up, Tom. But no, like 500 million. Jesus Christ, in a mobile game, that's fucking nuts. And
Call of Duty
again, it's just scary again because great, look how much microtransactions earn. Joy.
I love it when you look into my eyes, Mitchell.
Huh? Oh yeah, because I was looking. Yeah. No, someone came to my door, so I had to answer.
You were just doing this. We're like, that's all we got.
I love this mic. This mic's beautiful because I can just press this little button and it's.
Yeah, man, it's like mine.
And here I am again. It's crazy.
Oh, we did it at the same time. Cute. Anyway, we both muted our mic at the same time.
Let's not talk about it. Let's move on.
Oh my god.
Anyway, I just think it's nuts that's how much a mobile game can earn just from microtransactions.
It's a popular franchise, and it's got a lot of little kids running around.
It doesn't even need to be Call of Duty for a mobile game to earn that much.
I just say when it's a franchise, when it's a good franchise.
Like, it's still just
when it's got a lot of kids running around with daddy's credit card or mommy's credit card.
Just stupid how much it earns. But anyway, fun news, good news. Call of Duty Warzone news.
20,000
accounts have been banned for cheating.
Yay!
Now, that's fucking nothing compared to the amount of players in the game and probably how many cheaters there actually are. But it's a start.
20,000 is a good number.
Decent start.
Hell yeah.
And it was really funny. So when they did this like mass ban, a very popular streamer was banned live. Well, not a very popular, but a streamer who likes to boast about his 5KD.
Is this the same one that you showed?
No.
It was another one.
This is a different dude that boasted about his 5KD and just
in
the middle of the game.
So cocky.
In the middle of the game, he got banned, which is just.
Do you remember when we played Andrew and we're just being idiots around and we kept getting fucked by one team?
Oh, dude, that
I'm gonna report them. I'm like, what are you gonna report them for? And you're reading out the options, and you're like, I'll report him for cheating.
I was like, dude, he was fucked. He was so fucked.
Anyway,
well, like one of the options was like sexual harassment. I was like, okay, I don't have anything to prove that. So.
Yeah.
I mean, he fucked me over pretty good in the game, but it wasn't sexual harassment, so cheating it was.
Oh dear, what is going on?
Anyway, yeah, I think it's great. I think it's a good step forward.
Love it.
So fun watching cheaters get
Here's to 20,000 more. Yeah.
Oh, here's to just all of them, man. Like, fuck them, bro. It's like, I love that Fall Guys thing that they put out where they, like, this for, like, the first month or two that the game had been out, they were actually compiling cheating data. And they were slowly, ticking off people, essentially, that were cheating. And specifically on the PC, obviously, because that's where all the cheating are. And essentially... They had, once they were able to find enough cheaters, they essentially put them all into their own servers. So they could only match with other cheaters, which is just fucking great. So imagine being a cheater and just seeing another cheater fly by. Fuck! Like a hexagonal drop of them both just floating there going until one of us drops.
Oh, man, that's next level memes. I
love when companies do that shit. Like one of my favorites.
They're thinking outside the box.
Like
cool.
You know, obviously everyone tries to stop pirators from pirating their games, but one of my favorites is like GTA 4 had this way to detect if you've pirated their game, and essentially the whole time you played the game, it would have the drunk camera that like keeps going in and out of the character, and so you'd have people hopping on chat servers going, my game's glitched. It keeps the camera's not working properly, and so people are just like, you just outed yourself for being a pirate. You fucking idiot. Obviously, people got over
That's the risk. That's the risk
but it's
you run.
fucking great. I think it's spicy.
Yeah,
love
thinking
it.
outside the box. A little bit of karma.
In more funny news. This one's one of my favorites. So. Google Stadia, the best streaming site out there. So Google released their new Chromecast, right? And with that, they released the news that the new Chromecast will not be supporting Stadia until 2021.
They're the same...
I love it because it's like...
So Google couldn't be asked, hey.
They're just like, it's dead, but we don't want to say it's dead just yet. But it's dead. Like, just die. Just die already.
Is anyone even on it? Like, seriously?
Barely. I doubt it. I fucking doubt it. It's the biggest waste of money. Like, it's just, I found that, I saw that, and I just wanted to talk, I wanted to say it on the podcast. That was funny.
What the fuck?
Anyway, let's go into the final bit of news. This is the final bit of news, and we'll see if it's good or bad. Maybe.
Roll the wheel.
Ghost of Tsushima, my personal game of the year at the moment still.
Yeah, good stuff.
They released a trailer for their 1.1 update.
Alright, still good.
Obviously showing off Legends, etc. So that we got a lot of more information about it. So essentially, 1.1 will include also some single player content. So we get some custom. They're adding in custom gear loadouts. So essentially, instead of having to constantly change the like charms, which are perks in the game, changing them every time you change pieces of armor to fit the armor piece, they can add in loadouts for each armor piece. So you can, as soon as you equip it, that's a nice little addition for the single player. I personally like that.
Oh, good news! Hallelujah!
They're adding in New Game Plus. Which will give you new content, new horse, new merchants with new cosmetics.
Yeah.
And new customization. They're adding in new charms. They're adding in trophies for players as well. So to add a bit more longevity. And then they showed off a bit more of Legends. So to begin with, they're going to be adding in the 2-player missions, the 4-player missions, and a raid. And they showed off that there's going to be the 4 classes. Which all have cosmetics and customization for each class. And they also announced the price of everything.
$2 billion.
It is still going to be free.
That's significantly less than the one I said.
$2 billion. It's still free. Everything is still free.
Approximately $2 billion.
And they gave us a release date as well. We didn't have a release date before.
What's the release date?
They gave us a release date. It's coming out in 9 days.
So in
the 16th
our time,
of
that is the 16th of October.
Yes.
All right.
Which, dude, like, just, it's amazing again, just seeing a company go, consumer-friendly ideas, here you go. You know, you've got FIFA at the top there doing shitty things to children and advertising gambling mechanics.
I don't know.
And then you have Ghost coming in and going, you want it for free?
You want free content? Maybe?
It is
free candy.
It's free. I promise.
Here's a step-by-step.
It's great. Like,
here's a step-by-step instruction manual on how to download our free content. They can put that in children's books. You're just reading little Timmy, his little book about trains.
We got to see a little bit of Legends as well. Just like a split, like some more in-game bits of footage, and it looked awesome, man. It looked really cool.
What are we looking at?
The art style, Legends, which is the co-op part of Tsushima.
I knew that.
They obviously didn't show off a lot of the gameplay and stuff, but like just the scenery, they've really touched on. They've gotten rid of more of that realistic, grounded approach and really focused more on. It almost looks like a Japanese art piece come to life. It's really cool. I think it looks really awesome.
Wow.
It's really nice. I'm fucking so excited.
That's the first thing Jog has said in 15 minutes.
Yeah, I know. And no, personally though, I think it'll be really exciting, man. I can't wait. I thought it was some good news to put in at the end.
Yeah.
Some positive.
I was gonna mention this when you mentioned Warzone, but I forgot. Yeah. The new trailer for the zombies portion of the new.
I didn't see it. What's it like?
It looks sick, bro.
Yeah? Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Bro.
I'm a massive zombies fan. Didn't really like it in the middle years. I guess from Black Ops 2, I didn't really play too much zombies. Checked them all out, but didn't really enjoy them too much. This one looks a lot grittier, a lot like... I don't know. I feel like back in the day, we were actually there was a fear factor to the zombies mode. Which draw
it was a weird
into
mix of like fear and comedy.
People were fear, comedy, and they were drawn to the story and how they were going to finish this storyline that they were building with Richtof and Mason, I think, was the other one. Whatever. This one, they've made a new storyline, new characters. So again, if it's good, that'll draw people in. But the art of the maps.
Stop inhaling your vape off screen, you
and
fucking weird cunt.
I'm
just seeing you go from the fucking bottom of my computer.
You weird man.
It looks like dude, it looks like you were getting ready to suck yourself off there, man. It looked fucking odd and bizarre.
You can't hide anything on camera.
And you kept doing it, like, multiple times. You did it once, looked for a little bit, checked if anyone was checking you out, and then went... Sorry to interrupt, Mitchell. I had to call him out because
that's fine. That's
fine.
All I'm saying is it looks really, really, really neat. And for the people that haven't seen the trailer and are interested in zombies, go check out the trailer because I think you'll be excited for it.
Now you're just being a fucking goof. Now you're just being a goose, man.
Oh my god. But that's just all I wanted to mention. I think it was a really cool trailer and looks hopeful. You know, I'm interested. That's actually made me more interested for the game. Are we going to
get demonetized?
For what? Of course we are. Andrew said the C word like 20 minutes ago.
Fine.
We don't get money.
We got our first copyright anyway.
Yeah, we don't get.
Did we actually?
Yeah, on my Star Wars Squadrons.
Oh, it's so stupid.
Gameplay.
Hey, you're allowed to
Sony
put
music,
the game on,
Sony
but you're not allowed to
music.
put the music on that comes with the game.
Yeah,
How
Sony music
that?
copyrighted the music.
So is it just mute?
It's just literally.
It's just unmonetized.
It's like 10 seconds. It's just there was 10 seconds that I had to mute, so I just muted 10 seconds of the video.
Yeah.
But that's weird though. Like only 10 seconds of the music is not okay.
It's a beautiful world we live in.
I guess I found that funny.
Yeah.
I posted it. I went outside. I went outside. Was reading a book.
Go to toilet.
Came back. And Jesus Christ, Tolga. Anyway, I came back and I just saw that your video has been copyright.
Is there any more news? Is there anything else we got to talk about?
Game news is done. Game news is done.
What's
going on the time?
We're about a minute 10 in, actually. Yeah.
Minute 10? Okay, so we've got a while.
Perfect.
Well, I wanted to let's finish this off then with, I think, an interesting conversation. Games that kind of changed our perspective on the video game medium, or games that really influenced us and made us really love games even more. You know.
Okay.
I thought that'd be an interesting topic. And one of you can take a stand. Wii Sports is definitely a top tier one. That's S.
Bowling. I was the social king.
I was more of that Wii boxing. I really like the Wii baseball too.
You're lame, dude.
I actually really liked the baseball. The baseball was fun. But anyway.
Nintendo.
Anyway, in all seriousness, one of you can take the reins. Who wants to start?
Oh,
I don't know.
Look, Dead Set, my favorite game, definitely started me out like getting more serious into more multiplayer. Like the first game I ever went into like full multiplayer and whatnot was Black Ops. You know? It was I don't know.
That dog out.
Yeah, that dog, man. As soon as I mentioned Black Ops, it was all about it. Muffin the dog is like, yeah, fucking Black Ops, man. Fucking good
Dog's
game.
name is Muffin.
Yeah, it's a fucking meatball. I actually because I came back from the house when I came back from overseas, and the dog was obviously moved in, and I had to take care of it once, and I forgot its name. I think I called it Meatball for like 3 days because it looks like a meatball. So I said it makes sense. I knew it started with an M, but anyways, regardless of Meatball the Muffin Dog, Call of Duty Black Ops 1 was dead set my favorite game. Definitely set me off on the multiplayer road. Set me into the salty rage man that I am today. So
I honestly no.
And is there any other ones, Mitchell?
If I was going to talk about single player, I think
it doesn't have to be single player.
Middle
just
Earth,
games that really change your perspective.
The Lord of the Rings Middle Earth one. I can't remember what it was called.
Which one? The old ones on the PS2 and Xbox?
The new ones. The one that
Shadow
had a
of
sequel.
Mordor.
Shadow of Mordor. Yeah. Not the sequel. I didn't play that. The first one
was really good.
Because I'm not a single player guy. I don't generally play single player games. This one I played for a shit ton of hours and made sure I did everything in the game. I even came back because there was one trophy that I didn't get because, I don't know, I was struggling when I was a little younger or whatever. I came back like 3 years or 2 years later and finished it because I was like, I wanted it. And I relearned the game essentially. So that one, I guess for me.
I finished that game in like a week, platinumed it, fucking loved that game when it came out.
It's such a good game. Really
phenomenal. Yeah. I loved it. And really great mechanics. Like that Nemesis system.
Is...
I wish more games
did that.
took that concept. Assassin's Creed Odyssey tried to do a similar thing.
You've not really seen it around anymore, which is unfortunate.
Pardon?
I said you don't really see that kind of Nemesis.
It's only been in that game, the sequel, and like I said, Odyssey did it for a bit, and it wasn't done as good as those two. So,
well, there you go.
Yeah. What about you, Tolga? Come on.
I don't know, man. I mean, probably the biggest one for me probably would have been Fighters, bro. Like
Fighters?
2D. Yeah, like Dead or Alive, Street Fighter.
Oh, yeah.
Things like that.
Like Tekken stuff?
Probably,
or
not particularly Tekken.
Tekken was mainly PlayStation back in the day, so...
It was particularly Dead or Alive and...
I used to froth Dead or Alive as a kid.
Street Fighter, yeah, I know why.
Just because of the titties, bro. Just because of them titty physics.
You didn't have to say it. We all knew. I'm pretty sure all the viewers also knew as well.
Any male who liked it as a kid knew why.
Purely because, like, that's just like what my
Why
uncle...
don't we earn money on this channel? Why?
I mean, because we've only got 10 subscribers.
Yeah, Andrew made 8 of those accounts.
I wish I had that much effort.
Sorry, Tiger, keep going, dude.
Purely because that's just like what my uncle played around me and stuff, and that's what primarily got me gaming. So like, there's nothing like that was like particularly innovative or like, or you know, that just like I was like, oh my god, this has changed.
Yeah,
you know, games for me forever. It's just like I had that starting.
It was your gateway game.
Yeah, and then it just sort of expanded.
That's still an important one, you know.
100%.
Like I still think, like the first fighter game that I ever got truly into was actually
Dragon Ball Fighter Z. That was Andrew's one, right?
I enjoyed that, but no, Injustice 2 actually. Weirdly enough.
Yeah.
Really, I hate fighters. Like I fucking despise them. I'm not good at them. I don't enjoy them. But Injustice 2, just the setting on top of the mechanics were also really friendly to newcomers.
Yeah,
it made you get into it.
You give me 2 weeks, and I'll be that friend that makes you want to fucking put your head through the fucking television because you can't win.
Oh, I know you'd be that person. But that's why I don't play fighter games with you, isn't it?
Pretty much. Same problem I have with my brother all the time.
I remember once we were drinking with a couple mates, and one of them wanted to play a fighters game with you. I think it was Mortal Kombat and DC versus DC Universe or whatever.
DC versus Capcom or whatever it was.
No, it's Mortal Kombat
versus DC. Yeah.
It was shit. It wasn't that great.
Shit. Wow. Okay. I
remember you hopped on, and I don't remember who it was. No, I remember they'd been like on a winning streak this whole time, like against everyone else. And you and I were out smoking shisha and having a beer, and then we came in, and you're like, "Oh, I'll give you a game." And you're like, I'll play this character. I haven't played them before. And this guy's been like, oh no, this is my main. And Tolga just fucking wiped the floor with this kid. Literally, the kid got like 2 hits in overall. And Tolga was like, so are we doing like winner keeps going? that is what we're doing. And I remember Tolga didn't leave. I didn't touch the game. I was like, I know my limits. And fighting games is not my fucking thing. So... don't even bother.
Yeah. But gotta love it.
I think my big one, obviously I loved games as a kid. I always were into them, but the one that kind of shaped what I enjoy as video games today is Oblivion. Elder Scrolls Oblivion. Yes. No, but Elder Scrolls Oblivion, man, that was the first proper open world RPG that I ever played, and I've always loved fantasy ever since I was a kid, and I never really found many fantasy games that I really, really enjoyed. And so then when Oblivion came out, and I was like, I can kill anyone. I can do what I want.
Oh god.
For that power.
Fox News is gonna say that. Oh no, they're gonna talk about how games cause violence now.
I can create spells.
Oh my god.
What is this?
Andrew's just put the direct link to games and violence just then.
But no, seriously, that game is probably the video game that kind of shaped how I play games today. How many times in one sentence can I say games? We'll never know. I will just keep going. But no, so ever since then, I've enjoyed open world games. That is my favorite genre. Fuck you, Mitchell. I'm not focusing on you. I'm going to look at Tolga's face. Now Tolga's laughing, so this isn't helping.
I was just nodding. I was agreeing with you. I'm supporting you, bro.
Fucking, you made me drop me bloody aux cord, you prick.
I didn't make you do anything.
I made you.
But no, Oblivion's definitely my one, man. 100%.
Did you guys ever play those like buzz games? Where you'd have the controller with like the big red button and then you have like the green, yellow, red and blue.
Yeah.
The what?
Yeah, on PlayStation.
The red, the blue, yellow and green colours.
Yeah. The game show is on the game show game on PlayStation. Yeah, bro.
Do you remember those? Those were great. Those were good.
I remember
games.
being like 11 and like playing against adults, and like
I
didn't have a chance. I didn't have a chance, and then I just remember like my auntie just being like, "He's 11 years old. He's not gonna win anyway. Every time I get to steal points, I'm gonna steal them from him." I'm 11. I'm like, why? Why would you take
great.
the only points I have?
I used to play so much that I actually didn't have to look at the buzzer anymore. I knew where everything was. Like hand
Bro, there's only 5 buttons, fam. What do you mean?
I knew which color was which, bro. I knew
there's
which
a big
color
red
was
button,
Like,
and then blue, green, yellow, red.
The iToy games?
Yeah.
Like, fucking loved the iToy games on PS2.
Cool. That's really great, Andrew.
Don't remember them at all.
No, I slightly. Not
I used
as
to
much.
fucking love those. They were so much fun. Josh and I actually used to play them as kids. He had like all the iToy games. We fucking smashed through them.
Yeah, it's something
Great.
I remember but don't remember at the same time.
Did you guys ever have Kung Fu Chaos?
No.
No.
It was so funny.
Fuck is Kung Fu Chaos?
Effectively, the premise of it is it's almost like Smash Bros, right?
Almost.
Like Smash Bros-esque fighting type thing. So 4 players on like a multi-level fighting thing, whatever. And what the premise was that every fight you were shooting a kung fu movie. So the director.
Actually, I'm not even upset about that. That sounds like a cool idea.
Yeah,
Right.
The director was like a fat Asian man with a megaphone who'd yell, and then like at random points. So you know how in Smash Bros, like an item drops from the sky. At random points, this director would just fucking peg a chair onto the fight arena, potentially hit someone that does damage, and then whoever picks up the item gets to use it.
I like that. That's different. You don't get games like that anymore, do you?
Oh, it's such a shit show, but it's so
I feel like nowadays that game would be called out so hard.
Oh, bro, it was so supremely racist. Like, every time you opened the game, literally there was no intro music. It just went, whoa! And that's it.
Oh, fuck.
Oh dear. On that note.
Well, yeah, before we wrap it up, have any of you been watching the new animes that have been slowly...
Oh yeah, I've been watching most of them.
I know you have, Mitchell.
I've been focusing on game time.
Fair
enough, man. That's fair enough. Mitchell, what did you think of some of the shows that came out?
Oh, jeez, you know what my memory's like. Give me a name.
Jujutsu Kaisen, the big one. That's probably the biggest one.
Jujutsu Kainen.
You didn't even say the right name, but good.
Give it a thumbs up out of 7.
I like it.
Nah. It was
I'm gonna watch it now.
No, I actually genuinely enjoyed it. We talked about it with Andrew. I think it's a show which premise has sort of been explored before, or characters have been like the personalities of characters have been shown before in
it's not even the anime. Personality. It's not even the personality.
Characteristics.
I think the personality is actually pretty original for a main character.
Characteristics, then, would you say?
It's his background that I think is just...
There's tropes in there. There are tropes in there that have been explored in anime before that you might see as simplistic, but the way they execute it and how it all mixes into the storyline and the art style,
I agree.
It really, really works well together, and a really good show. And it makes me excited. Because from a shonen, from a guy that watches... Sorry, Andrew.
You go.
From a guy that watches One Piece... I'm tearing my hair out right now because every episode is just like I've got chain balls to my ankles and I'm trying to walk just for some sort of progression. I can't. It's a 20-minute episode for 10 minutes of progression in the show's time, where this first episode, and I hope it keeps going because obviously there's only one episode, but they progressed really quick and got to the point, and I'm hoping they continue that way.
I mean,
where it doesn't drag out as much. And I know it's a shonen, but please,
I'm just gonna say
the one
first episode.
Sorry,
do you know it's a shonen? Just clarifying.
I know it's a shonen.
Right, because shonens drag on.
Yeah, I know. I just hope that they.
But like
it isn't as bad as One Piece. Hopefully,
to compare it to One Piece, though, Mitchell. One Piece episode 1 and onwards progressed at a pretty decent pace until it hit the fillers. So to say, episode 1 progressed pretty decently is.
I'm just hopeful. I'm an optimist.
I'm hopeful too. I was not super excited for this one because I've read the manga, not all of it, but quite a bit of it, and I didn't think that it was that great.
Yeah.
But the anime has surpassed it. Just in the first episode, has surpassed it, and I was like, wow, this is what it should be. Yes, I like this. This is very fun.
Very nice.
But yeah, the main character, he's literally an amalgamation of so many shonen tropes when it comes to his backstory. I love it. Like,
did his parents die?
He's orphaned.
Oh,
wait, I'm not done. His surrogate father is his grandfather, so he was adopted by his grandfather, who is on his deathbed.
Right. Yep.
Has a dying wish.
Right.
Which then compels him to make the decisions that later on in the episode that will put him to progress the story and put him in certain positions.
Does the kid have a dark secret like a demon fox or?
No, dude, he's pretty blunt.
Turns into a giant ape.
He doesn't have a dark secret or anything like that. But here's the next best part.
He's a pretty blunt and honest guy.
He just has, for some reason, and he's a bit unnaturally
gifted,
strong.
Yeah.
Like, in every way, shape, and form. Like, for example, he literally baseball pitches a fucking metal shot put. Like 30 meters.
Yeah.
As a normal human. Or he runs at the speed of, like, faster than the world record sprints. Like, it was just shit like that. And I was like, he's literally an amalgamation of so many tropes combined.
But it's fun. It seems like a really fun show.
Is his love useless? Is the love interest useless?
There's no love interest yet. In the anime. But what I will say is that I will give it credit for, although yes, the character is an amalgamation of tropes, I think his personality is actually something quite different for a shonen.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Because, you get kind of... There's primarily two types of shonen protagonists. They're loud and obnoxious and confident, or they're a pussy like Deku. That they're the two MC personalities.
Don't shit on Deku.
And then
you really did him like that.
You're still a pussy. He was still a pussy to begin with. He's gotten better, but he's still a bit of a pussy.
Deku is Bay. Bay is Deku.
Anyway, but those are like tend to be your kind of primary personalities of shonen main characters.
Yeah, so right.
And so this character, he's not loud and obnoxious. He's confident. He has the ability to back it up, but he's not a loud, obnoxious Naruto-esque character. He's not a pussy like Deku. He's just, I'm strong, but I'm nice. I'm a nice person. I'm a nice guy.
Very nice.
And so it's
very
really
good
to see that type of personality as a shonen protagonist.
Yeah.
You know, especially considering the last shonen that came out was fucking Black Clover.
Oh,
and
what a show. What a banger.
All right.
Great story. But
all right, lads.
Actor.
Yeah,
anyway, yeah, that's it.
We got it.
That's it.
All right.